Rabula.
Good evening, Sam, and how are you?
I'm very well, man. How you doing?
I'm fighting with the flu, but I'll get it right. I'm still coughing, but I'll get it right. I'm better than yesterday.
Yeah, it's the same here.
Mm,
But I'm also better than yesterday.
mm, mm.
Mm, mm. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be fine.
Yes.
We'll be fine. I spent the whole day here, not doing anything. This is the first engagement for the day.
It's actually good. This is come to go to farm. So I would not ask them again to thousand.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
And
mm,
it's very important. Although one doesn't totally sit and rest, but I'm trying to practice,
mm,
this relaxation stuff. Very helpful.
mm. Without
Mm.
mm.
Hi,
Yo,
Jivesh.
hi Sam. I was just gonna say your chest sounds a bit heavier today than yesterday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I didn't. You see, my drugs are getting finished, so I was trying to save them. I only took them late this evening.
Now, if you're running out of drugs there in Bucksburg, Benoni, a lot of drug supplies.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to go for the second stock. Otherwise,
Antibiotics.
Yeah, it's antibiotics and cough mixture. Cough mixture I still have enough because that's what is left now, and probably that's why my chest is heavy because the chest is the box.
Yes. But also as precaution, you can take an antiviral, Tamiflu, for example. It will help you as well. It'll boost you, help you. Otherwise, this thing is taking a month. Some people 2 months to get over the flu.
Yeah, I hear so. I hear people saying that it takes ninth day. Somebody was saying, was it you, Rabula? And then I spoke to somebody to say that they are almost in the second week.
Yeah, the Tamiflu that you can get, but you need prescription.
Yeah.
It kills the virus. Doesn't go for symptoms. It goes for the virus.
I think what I did wrong. Normally, I'll go to the doctor and then based on the checking, then she will prescribe. But if you go off the counter, they sell you what they want to sell, what they want to
yes, of course,
to go up. I noticed that Norman, this thing is not as strong as I used to get after prescription by my doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now my son as well, he was having flu. They gave antibiotics, didn't work. They gave him stronger one. He still wasn't improving. Then I just took the antivirus, and then it just started to help.
Sure. Hi, Maynard, we can see you. Can you hear us? Do you want to come over?
We can't hear you at all, Maynard.
Let me bring him over to the studio. Maynard, I tried to invite you over to the studio. Did you log in using the public one, or did you use the host one? That's the difference. What is written there? Connected with. Oh yeah, okay. Umpile, hi, welcome, Umpile.
Good evening, Tate Sam, and
yeah, good evening to you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
Yeah, I thought I'm getting better, but I'm told my voice is still rough, heavy.
Yeah, it's a bit. I can feel that you still have a bit of flu. Maybe.
Yeah,
I normally take ginger when I have a bit of flu, medication for everything, for myself most of the time.
Mm, yeah. Well, when you are sick, you get all sorts of prescriptions.
The strange thing is, on Pele, we usually putting ginger and garlic in every day's meals anyway.
Everything.
You still get sick.
Yeah. Now,
Normally, when you
colleagues,
cook,
yeah.
go ahead, Sam.
Carry on. Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying normally when you're cooking Indian food, you're putting ginger and garlic in everything. When you do onions, there's ginger and garlic that goes in,
Yeah.
but you still get sick.
I know about garlic. A lot of Indian food has garlic in.
Yes.
I've got a friend of mine in our area here from Mumbai. He
Hi,
runs
Sam.
an Indian store. Yes, Menat. Can you hear us?
Oh, I'm in now.
Yeah, you are in the studio now.
Yes, I can
Welcome.
hear you. Thanks so much. Like
Wonderful.
today, my situation is bad. Yeah, we don't have power. We don't know. People have just voted for load shedding, unfortunately.
Yeah, people said that immediately after the elections it could be back. Let's hope that's not the case. Great. Welcome, colleagues. Please take note that part one of this conversation, which was yesterday's session, is available as a podcast now. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or go straight to insightsonlinepodcast.com and listen to it. It's a very nice one. It came out very nicely. So it will make sense to listen to it before you listen to what we are going to produce now. But anyway, let me allow you to check in and reflect on yesterday before we continue on with part two. Somebody must mute himself. I think it's you, Maynard. If we can, yeah, beautiful. Before we continue with part two, which is going to be a special focus on attention management and the type of activities that we can do to improve our capacity to be able to be fully present. Yeah, let's check in. Greetings to you all. Yeah, this is the mind, the journey, the destiny. We apply our mind to the journey that takes us to our destiny. As a reminder that our show is based on our principle, which is also our guideline called the idea. We inform and entertain, develop and educate, empower and support, associate and network. That's the idea. I must say I felt that way when I listened to the podcast, that we were really, it was quite interesting yesterday. But because I wasn't well, I only enjoyed it when I listened to the podcast. So there's value in creating the podcast. Over to you to check in and reflect on yesterday and share with us your anticipation for today's session.
Sam, let me be the icebreaker for check-in for now. I think my flu becoming much more better. I've seen it today because I spent some time at SARS and I only put mask on it and I could stand along without even having any coughing and whatever you can call it. But as of yesterday, I practiced some of the things because it created some conscious in my subconscious of saying, remember, when you speak, you always swallow the last words. So I decided to be critical of that on my own today, and I try to practice it. Hopefully, it will get on its own to an extent of saying, yes, you are now in the right level of understanding your subconscious things which you're not conscious of. That's the first one. And then the issue of context relevancy. Because I went in for the specific line items, it was very short and sweet. And I also learned some information which I didn't bring along to the relevant people. But we are cordially agreed to one another. And I got a short term next appointment. It was very short. The previous one was too long. That was me, my day for today. Hopefully, I'll contribute positively with attention management and looking forward in terms of say how do we add value to the wisdom of podcast radio. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rapula. I'm glad that you remembered to correct yourself. It's wonderful to remember, and you must have felt good at the end when you have applied that skill. Thank you very much. Who's next? Maynard, you want to go?
And this is clear now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, no, thanks so much. Good evening, colleagues. Well, my name is Maynard. Yesterday, well, I don't have much to reflect on because I haven't listened to the podcast as yet, and my connection was just terrible for me. I missed a whole lot of the show practically. But yes, today I'm looking forward again to gain more knowledge on this one.
Welcome, Maynard. I hope you are able to stay stable throughout.
I'm praying. I'm praying. You know, I'm holding my phone like in the olden days. It's on. I put my phone higher to catch network because yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, great. Thanks for checking in. Yes, Divesh?
From my side, Sam, I think we living in very interesting times here in South Africa at the moment. From a political, from a country developmental perspective, it's interesting as well that people who were fighting like cats and dogs not long ago are now wanting to sit at the table and play along for the benefit of one another. So it's interesting to see what will transpire out of this. My experience with coalition government doesn't bode so well because I find it takes a very long time for people to settle in and actually get down to the grindstone and actually deliver on what they're actually there for, to serve the people. But as I say, interesting times. And I am still looking forward to what challenges lay ahead in terms of developing our country. Thank you, sir.
Indeed, interesting times. And we are learning new terminologies out of this. And I'm like, wow, we have always had a one tunnel vision of how to lead a country. Now we are learning so many permutations out of this coalition. And everybody's really excited and looking forward. And it just shows that the voters have power and we have shown it. And now the leaders have to toe the line and talk to each other in our interest. Same here. I'm looking forward to see what kind of model of leadership we are going to have in our country. Interesting times.
And I think in relation to today's show, that of attention management, we definitely have to be very intentional about what we are seeing the parties doing because it's got a very direct impact on ourselves. And of course, we have to be very responsive again in terms of what decisions are being made on behalf of ourselves so that we can then take that situation and make the best out of it to suit whatever needs that we may have, Sam.
Absolutely. And avoid interruptions at all costs. Yeah.
Indeed.
And and shy away from doing unproductive work.
The unproductivity from experience has come from these coalitions trying to settle into that newfound, permutations that you actually mentioned. So I'm hoping that indeed that unproductivity doesn't settle in, because it's going to affect especially service delivery and livelihoods.
Yeah, yeah. You have just summed up the subsections, the four subsections of attention management, the four areas of zone: intentionality, responsiveness, interruption, and unproductivity. If you remember those four, then you know what attention management is. But we'll go deeper into that. Thank you so much. Yeah, maybe Ompilo, do you want to check in? And let me also acknowledge, Anjulela and Dadera Muta. Can see them on the public platform. If they want to come over, they must just drop me a note in the chat. Over to you, Ompile.
Thank you, Tate Sam again. Yes, for me, also, I have been also keeping an eye on politics. And yes, yesterday you did mention it, and also Divesh also mentioned it now. So at the moment, I feel like we are in an environment that is very politically and we have so much uncertainty. Like they say, we live in the VUCA world. So I feel like now in South Africa, a lot of businesses and also just South Africans, they're actually super worried about what's gonna happen and how things are gonna unfold based on the past coalition. I feel like uh, South Africans, we have learned some of the lessons about coalitions and how to share the power. But I believe that it's not good for the long run. But at the same time, it's a good lesson for the long run. Just to be able to, because if we look at geopolitics, it's all about sharing of power and territory. So I feel like it's gonna add value to us as a country to know how to work with different powers, sharing or being able to work in the same goal or to achieve the same goal. So for me, it's something that is interesting, and I keep on following it. And from yesterday, like I said, for me, the biggest thing that I learned a lot was about relevancy. So I've also kept like reflecting on it, and also trying to say how can I improve myself to be able to be understand how to be relevant in terms of conversation, and also in terms of like listening to what is relevant, and also being able to be relevant. So that's something that I kept so much. And today, yes, quite interested in the topic today about attention. So I look forward in listening and also contributing and learning more and taking more knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Ompile. Always a pleasure to have you on the platform. Anjulela, do you want to have some opening remarks? Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Sam. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Good, good. I'm listening to Ompile, and he's right. We are in a time where the focus is more on politics and what the next steps are going to be for our country. And I think for me, I'm at a place where I am just observing, what is happening, and actually
Mm.
not just in the next elections in 2029, but in 10 years, in 20 years from now? What does that look like, for us as a country, and what is the message? So I'm spending more time observing and understanding, all the different parties at play, and the responses and what media is saying. So from a comment perspective, I don't have much to say, but I'm more listening in, to what is happening around me. But also to check in, I think we are quite busy at work this week, and I'm grateful for that because it is exam time. I'm always happy to be here with everyone. I'm still learning on Podbean. It's a different platform, Mr. Sam, but I think I am going to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Beautiful. No, I like it that we can interchange. That's really the value proposition of it. Thank you so much. I'm glad everything is going well. Yes, attention management as a subsection of listening attentively and listening actively and generatively. As I mentioned, that there are 4 subsections, and this comes out of attention management course of the Business Academy. And those 4 points are very important. And the very first one is about intentionality. When working intentionally, people plan strategically and prioritize their activities. I think that's mouthful. All of us are in situations where we work with people, and sometimes we battle to become intentional about what we do. So I think it's very important. Intentional means you have a certain goal you set yourself to achieve, and whatever happens, you focus on that goal, and you try not to be derailed or hijacked. And then, of course, the second one is you have to be responsive, meaning that you have to be aware of what is going on around your ecosystem, be it a local, regional, continental, and global. And I think I always say that if you want to get this right, try to always start from outside in, because when you're coming outside in, you gravitate in because that's what you know better. But if you try to do inside out, you are likely to get discouraged, not to have momentum. But if you say, what is going on in the bigger environment, and how is that bigger environment informing our internal environment? And internal environment is what is known to us, and we have it under control in many cases. But it's irresponsive to focus on that internal environment and ignore what external environment is giving you. And external environment could be just if you're sitting inside your house, external environment could be your yard. As you're sitting in your house and busy enjoying what you are enjoying, are you aware of what's going on in your yard? Maybe there is a dog in the yard that will bite you when you go out. But because you are not responsive, you don't even take note. So just as a simple example like that. And then, of course, interruptions is a daily problem. Social media, as mentioned, is one of the things that can easily take you out of your focus. Or an environment in general, the climate, what you hear in the news, what invite itself into your space without you wanting it. Lying quietly in bed, meditating, and then you get a WhatsApp. And then if you are not intentional and responsive, you stop what you are doing, you look at that WhatsApp, and then it tells you something that is totally disturbing, and then you immediately stop what you are doing. So, but if you are disciplined, you are going to suspend certain things and listen selectively. And then, of course, there are so many things that we keep ourselves busy with, but they are so unproductive that they actually steal 90% of your energy and capacity and focus. So if you are intentional, you will not allow that. So yeah, there you are: intentional, responsive, interruptions, and productivity. I hope that sums it up. It's almost like the way of being. It doesn't mean living too serious life. It just means being conscious and aware. I think we touched on this yesterday. Is there anybody who's burning to make a comment around those four subsets, and or maybe how you see yourself actually being conscious and applying it going forward, especially in your management and leadership role, be either managing a show or leading a show or managing a conversation anywhere or running your business.
Do you know, Sam, you mentioned something which now a person now is going to wear facilitation or a facilitator cap. You've got this audience, large audience in front of you. You know, in the midst of the audience, one will be sort of an outlier in a process. So bringing everybody to one basket, you have to devise the means of say how do you draw their attention so that even if there could be some interruption in the process, it should minimize getting attention. You are intentionally getting attention so that the process you're doing, the facilitation you're doing, it gets to the each and every audience or participants' ears and eyes at the same time. So you sometimes fulfill that portion either when you start being intentional and being responsive to the environment, or when you're used to, you start looking at those outliners as to take you back into the message you're going to deliver for the day.
Mm, mm. And I think a situation where you are addressing a group of people requires you to be very much responsive to what is happening and be cautious of what could disrupt you or interrupt you, and also what can take you off your agenda. I think it's the whole issue of emotional intelligence or consciousness or awareness, and that's where we must start before even you worry about delivering what you're brought in to deliver. Control the environment or be aware. That intentionality is very helpful because then you are allowing yourself to be informed by what is surrounding you, and you are able to pick up things that under normal circumstances you will not pick up.
Yeah.
I sorry. I
No.
often say, oh, sorry, Andy. Now, I often say when you go to the environment like this, scan the environment first so that when you start speaking, at least you are aware of the environment.
Mm, mm, exactly. Including knowing who is there and where they come from and what are their perspectives. And that's why arriving early and chit chatting and talking to the organizers and and so those that are considered to be subject matter experts, all those. And if you become your way of being, it's not really hard. Just arrive and make yourself available. You get to feel the temperature. Andy, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Mr. Sam. I wanted to say, even before getting to the environment and understanding the environment, I think there's also a lot of planning, that is done before, right? And also prioritizing is important in order for you to be intentional and responsive,
Mm,
is for you to say,
mm,
okay, fine, this is the topic, that I'm going to bring forth, and this is how I'm planning to do it. And the background work is very important so that you will be able to be in more control, when you are leading a discussion, when you are having a discussion as a host.
mm. Indeed. One aspect that I want to just to follow up on that. For instance, I will use you as an example, Andrew. On Friday, you are going to attend a pronet. Attention management means that if you prioritize networking, that means go get the organizers to give you the list of who is coming, research them, and identify 2, 3 people that you must meet. Because sometimes we don't do that, and you arrive at the event, you met everybody, but you don't know none of those people that you met, you ever had the intention of meeting with them, and therefore you don't know why you actually met them. And that's why we wonder. We wander from bounce like a tennis ball from one person to another, not knowing what you are looking for. And you come back, you spend the whole day or the whole afternoon. You met so many people, but because you never planned, Anju, and you never had the intention to meet anybody to achieve anything, it's like it was just a nice party. And running business and behaving like that is very irresponsible in terms of resources and cost. You are not being responsive. You are meeting people, but you don't really know who's there. And you don't know when you meet this particular person who you saw on the agenda, what you can get from them or what you can offer or what you can exchange with them. And I think I'm going to say it, and it's not being racist. I think as Africans or blacks in particular, we are told that we are not intentional about that, and that's why sometimes it's very difficult for us to achieve what we want. Because sometimes we also don't know what we want. That's also the idea of intentionality. It doesn't mean abuse people, take advantage of people's events, but you're paying money to get to this event. Everybody comes to event to say we want to network. But in reality, if you ask them, have you identified anybody to meet? What do you want to discuss with them? What do you want out of them? You find that the person has not really done the planning that Angie is talking about. That is not attention management at all. And for business, that is not saving your business. I don't know what you want. What do you think about that? I feel it is one skill that we need to develop.
And to your point, Sam, and in relation to the management of the attention, as we've outlined in yesterday's show, I would like to take our members here as well as the listeners out there towards a different focal area, which even as we mentioned in our other shows, that the lessons, the skills that we are sharing, the do's and don'ts, they are often applicable to other areas of life, not necessarily just in terms of the engagements, as you mentioned, if you go for conferences and the like, or as we specifically focus in terms of the digital online mastery program, which Cometsa offers. If we look at leadership, which was an area of focus for me when I was doing the program with Cometsa, um, if we look at how does an effective leader manage attention, so like you've also outlined, um, you would want to, as an effective leader, have attention about yourself. So you'd have to have inward focus in terms of understanding your own emotions and your impulses and the like. So having self-awareness, before you can lead others, you need to be able to manage yourself. So you'd have self attention. Then, of course, as a good, effective leader, you'd have attention to others. So, effective leaders, as we've also said in other shows, you've got to do affirmations, you've got to be listening attentively, you've got to be understanding where others are coming from, empower and mentor other team leaders, so encourage them to be reliant. So, you've got to have attention for others. And of course, attention to the wider world. You got to be aware of the external factors, industry trends, what's actually happening in your sector of business, if it is that's the case. So, what we've also mentioned, as we said in the other shows, these tools we're sharing with our listeners are applicable in other areas of their life. So, it's very important to emphasize that point, Sam.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are not auto machines. We don't just happen. We need to apply our mind and then think about the next step we're going to take, and then be mindful of the places we're putting the steps into, and then observe what the effect is. And I think it is the whole idea of awareness. But what I like about this subject is they say now everything you do, You need to manage, have that attention management and be clear about what impact you want to make. And absolutely, Divesh, when we learn these skills, we don't think when you are going to host a show, you're going to struggle because it becomes your way of being and then it automatically serves you. So then whether you apply it in a show or you apply it in a management meeting, it becomes your way of being. But for you to achieve that level of mastery, you need to do as Rapula was sharing with us. Try to practice to rectify what you identified as areas of development. Do it 10,000 times until you do it without thinking, as Divesh was saying. That's how you reach the level of mastery, which is basically along the same line with the unconscious competency model where you reach the level, the highest level of unconscious competence, where you can drive from here to Pretoria without even remembering what you are doing, but you've complied with the rules of the road. Why? Because it's your way of being. Your subconscious mind start servicing you because it knows exactly what you want. And if you learn the right things, your subconscious mind will always deliver the right products out of you. But if you learn the wrong things, it will know how to deliver wrong out of you as well. That is what the attention and intentionality is all about. Practice, practice, practice. People don't just wake up and then they master things. And I think this thing of us learning from at the college and then thinking now you have finished learning, you can just happen. That's not the way. That is just the first step. Anyway, let's move on. Thanks for that reminder, Divesh. Stop thinking and pay attention. I love this one. You know, and again, we are not saying thinking is not important, but we are saying that it doesn't end there. So the advice to stop thinking may seem counterintuitive to attention management. Many people, however, overthink everything and focus on the wrong ideas. Our feelings control how and what we think. If we believe something is boring, bad, or a waste of time, we tend to give it less attention. For example, people are less likely to pay attention during a meeting if they believe it will not be proactive or productive. The ability to pay attention allows people to connect better with the world around them, process their emotions better, and organize the way they process cognitive. This is exactly what Napoleon Hill writes about in his book, classic Think and Grow Rich. He's basically saying that everything you become starts with your thinking. But as you're thinking, you need to pay attention to the type of feelings, emotions that are generated by that thinking. And also be aware, mood yourself, Maynard. Also be aware uh, of the, also be aware of the thoughts that you should buffer because it's a skill to be able to ignore the thoughts that are going to derail you. It's not impossible at all, but you're going to have to practice it several times because first time around, you are not going to be able to stop the thoughts. They say that there are thousands and thousands of thoughts that come into our mind. And if you try to entertain all of them, you are not going to become anything. You are not going to become productive. So the skill here is to know which thoughts to welcome and which thoughts to say, okay, I notice that this thing is disturbing me, but I choose not to keep it in my mind because it is not important to me. Try it several times until you are able to. Try this if you want to see how powerful this is. Many of us, when a certain part of our body itches, we immediately spontaneously scratch it. But sometimes you are in awkward, you are itching in awkward spot that you can't scratch it in the public. So what are you going to do if you can't excuse yourself? And what has been proven is if you just focus on that and do nothing and just listen to it, in seconds that itching stops. Who has ever experienced that? You take note of it, you pay attention to it, but you don't scratch. In seconds, it disappears.
Yes, I think Sam, that's a skill that you often have to develop. Of course, it comes easier to some than to others, but it's definitely ties into your point of stop thinking and pay attention. Which actually, if we look at what you gave as an analogy, you basically want to have your thoughts, observe them, not that you're stopping and your brain is completely empty. You're having your thoughts, you observe them, but you don't attach yourself to them. You still allow yourself to be, give attention to what's actually happening at that present moment. If that makes sense.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely. It comes with practice. And we're gonna, as we go on through the modules, we are going to. Maynard, please mute yourself. Or is it Umpile? Or is it Maynard? One of you. I think it's Maynard. Okay, thank you. So we're gonna learn about this because you can imagine you are in a show and then a thought come in and it distracts you and then you lose the train of thought. It can be very frustrating. Yeah. Then yeah. Yes. Umpile.
Yes, I just wanted to add something also in the topic about thoughts, because there's something also that I read yesterday. I think it was for me, it was profound, that links to what we are talking about. It was saying that, I have to I have like the ability to do anything I want to do, but not everything that I do is like beneficial. And also I can do anything, but I should not be mastered by anything. So I think links exactly with what we are talking about, because the mind on its own has so many things that I feel like someone said, if someone is to just understand another person's mind, sometimes they would be like in total shock to say, what is this person thinking about? So I think like it links exactly to what you are saying. We need to be able to train our mind to be able to choose what is beneficial or what is productive, and to actually be able to filter what is not good. And for example, sometimes maybe someone can offend you, and your mind obviously like you said, mind and the feelings, your feelings would start to have like anger towards that person. And also your mind, after the anger, your mind is gonna start saying, what do you have to respond to this person? But having the ability to control that, to say like what you said, to focus on actually saying, you know what, I'm feeling angry. Yes, I accept I feel angry, but whatever that I need to maybe manage this anger, and then be able to maybe come up with another feeling. And that feeling will also be filtered to the mind to say, how do I respond to this person? And I think also it goes to the point of breathing in, breathing out tactic. So it goes well together, all these lessons that we're having. But yeah, that's something that is very profound for me. Thanks.
But Sam, there's also correlation. If you take yesterday's topic or yesterday's discussions, where you said listen to understand, and this today we say stop, uh, uh, stop thinking and pay attention. So the two is correlation. So it's to make sure that your counterintuitive to your attention to what is in front of you goes back to the same thing. You listen to understand, so that if anything goes off use the word off the topic, you ask for clarification rather than to say, no, you are wrong. There's no wrong. Just clarify for us. What do you mean when you say best? What do you mean when you say that? The two correlation helps with one another, because this is a continuation of saying in this arena, that's how all of us should be able to pay attention to the scenario.
Yes. It's almost like saying, stop wondering and entertaining your thoughts. Pay attention to what is happening. Basically, that is that.
Yes.
Mm. Because the thoughts can take you away. You can be with us physically here and be far away in terms of your thinking and your thoughts. And that can be stopped by good attention management. It doesn't say thinking is wrong. It just says that don't go into wonderland and then find yourself lost. And you are physically with us, but you are not with us in terms of your presence. You haven't paid attention. That can be very dangerous, and also that's how many accidents happen, where you are totally lost. You can't even see where you are. And this happens when you have too many things that are occupying your mind and you are entertaining them, and you lose so much confidence that actually your mind starts controlling you instead of you controlling your mind. You know? And if you think of that, we have the ability to really control our mind. But it comes with practice. If you are not able to control your mind will control you. And what goes in the mind gets acted upon. And what is inside your inner mind is going to show up in your outer mind. And that becomes really like a world of chaos. And that I never thought that this kind of thing can be learned and practiced. I thought they're just theory. But if you think of it, it is really, really powerful to be able to understand these theories and practice them. So thanks for clarifying that, Rapula. Let's talk about the various types of attention. There is the focused attention, sustained attention, selective attention, and alternating attention. And then we'll talk about the attentive CEO and attention blink. So the focused attention is about, most people define focused attention as paying attention that concentrates on a single task and excludes everything else. Now, that is almost like countering each other. It doesn't mean that just, yes, be single-minded, be aware of what's happening around you, don't be distracted. So at this point in time, we are having this conversation. It's very important that your mind is focused on what we are talking about, and you are not distracted by anything else that is not part of us, because then you will not be focused. And that is against basically some people believe that they can be listening at the same time doing other things, and they say they call it multitasking. There's a time for multitasking, but there's times where you require focused attention, and multitasking is not actually allowed because it's going to take you out of that focus. Let's say, for instance, somebody is injured, and you are the only person who is delivering first aid to that person, and you don't focus on that single aspect of helping somebody recover from the injury or survive the injury. That is not going to be helpful to say I was multitasking. Is it made clear there?
Yes, it's clear, sir. It is clear. Example of somebody getting medical attention in the field of play, specifically speak to the focus attention.
Yeah. And if they are saying that, and focused attention requires energy, because you apply all your resources to this particular thing, because it's a life and death. And that's why they say if you are constantly, you can't sustain it for a very, very long time. But at that moment when you are doing what you are doing, like you are studying for exam, that 1 hour is life and death, because if you don't focus, you're going to spend 1 hour, but you're going to get nothing out of that 1 hour. So you were not focused. You were trying to study and watch TV at the same time. So that is focused attention. And then the next one is sustained attention. This is the type of attention people use to focus on a particular task that takes time. For example, reading a book requires sustained attention. And this is quite a very good example, because many people who are not able to start a book and finish them, they don't realize that their challenge is they are not having a sustained attention. They can't sit on a chapter to finish it, or doing a short course. So I'm involved in short courses as a tutor. A lot of people drop out of short courses, and we ask them, why are you dropping out? They said, no, the intensity is too much. He said, but I only need 6 weeks of your time and then you finish the course. So you don't have a sustained attention. Yeah. And that is really a skill that one can learn. You start something, you say, I'm doing a tender, Drabula, you know very well, and Andy. I'm doing a tender, I'm not going to sleep until this tender is finished. For that 3 hour in the evening, before you worry about sleeping, you're going to have a sustained attention, because if you stop it, tomorrow you come back, you don't have the same passion and the same energy level. So you haven't been disciplined to dedicate your attention for a sustained period to finish this thing, because this is what it requires. You know? So you sustain it for a while, and the brain uses sustained attention to process information and adapt to different situations. And then I said the problems with sustained attention occur when distractions keep someone from completing the task at hand. Exactly. You are busy completing this tender. You allow your phone to be answered. You allow your colleagues to come and talk you over. And that's why when people do that type of work, they go and close themselves in their boardroom and put a note, say, please don't disturb. Again, there is attention management. It doesn't happen by chance. You take a decision to say, this task requires my sustained attention. In this time period, I'm not going to ask anybody to give anybody a chance to disturb me. And they say that most people will need to refocus and return to the task after 20 minutes. Basically, you take a minute, break, and come back. And they talk about 3 stages of sustained attention. First one is grab that attention, keep that attention, and end attention. So grab is like take the decision to say for the next 1 hour, Maynard, I'm going to sit and produce this design from Tadera Muti. And then I'm not going to allow any dropping of the ball. So you keep that attention for that 3 hours because it needs your focus. And then you know exactly when you are done, everybody around you will know that he is now available. End the attention because you can't continue worrying about it when you have finished it. Switch off. Maynard, does that speak to you?
No, that's for sure. There is sustained attention. It's actually critical, especially when you do the designs or when you work in any other order that is actually overdue. In such incidences, you definitely need a sustained attention, because should you be distracted, you lose a lot. So you definitely gonna need a whole lot of time and focus to make sure that you do the best out of you. Because sometimes if you get that distractions, you might end up not doing what you were actually intending to do, and the end product might cost you even more sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely. That's so that is really very, very helpful to be intentional about that. The next one is a selective attention. This is what people use when they pay attention to a single stimulus in a complex setting. This is the one thing people are struggling with it. When you are in an environment, and I think, Divesh, you experienced this when we had the VUT show, and when you had people around you at the conference, and you kept on asking them to keep quiet, and they wouldn't. Ultimately, you have to use selective attention, because otherwise, you are not going to be with the show, because these people are continuously making noise. So having a conversation in a crowded restaurant is an example of selective attention. It is not possible to pay attention to every stimulus that's around us. I mean, I find myself sometimes at the hotel lobby, and I'm taking a call, and they are playing music because they are entertaining the guests. And then you ask the lady and say, please, can you put down the music? She said, no, we can't. It's part of the ambience of this place, and it's part of the service to the clients. You are at the wrong place, you yourself. This is not the place to be asking us to tone down the radio. So then what do? If that is the only venue? You apply selective attention. You take that decision to say, I'm going to switch off all other noises and just focus on what is important to me. because nobody can help me here.
And I think, Sam, on that specific one, and in relation to my own experience, like you referred, once you start doing the selective attention and you had actually planned to give it your full sustained attention, you have to also then manage your emotions, because at that point, your plan is not actually going according to script, and you have to, like with my situation, you had asked people to please lower the noise, but they decided, okay, you asking me to lower the noise, I'm going to increase the noise. So you're going to have to have that selective attention then to cater for that situation that you're in, and then of course manage your emotions as well, so that that is focused in the right directions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one example is the notifications on our phones. I mean, you put the phone on silent, but they keep on popping up. If you don't develop a discipline not to look at your phone when you are with people, you're going to be irritating people. And I remember this is one area where when I see somebody doing that, after that, if it's somebody close to me, I'll pull them to the side to say, you know what, when you are sitting with people and your phone keeps on sending notifications, and every notification you look at it, and you don't excuse yourself from the people and say, please don't be worried when I keep on checking my phone because I'm expecting a very important message, or there is event happening, I want to get update. So you and I think it's a type of a habit that can become a problem in your relationship with people because you are not practicing that selection. You can sit with your phone here, and it keeps on. You can see the notifications if it's vibrating or that, but you don't have to look at it. You choose not to look at it because you after the event, then you can then finish the selective attention, go back and be focused on the emails or notifications that were coming through. Otherwise, your productivity with the people that you are sitting with is going to be affected. And some people get irritated, actually.
Sam, on the
So
same note, sorry, Sam, on the same note, will the prior environmental scan not assist you in terms of managing selective attention?
Say it again.
I'm saying on the same note, let's say you are facilitating or coming to the environment where you're going to sit with people and you come earlier and you do what you call environmental scan.
Yes.
That should also help you in terms of doing what you call selective attention. Say, oh, okay, this type of people, this type of people. What I need to do, I need to make sure I do my selective attention.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, especially if you are the guest speaker, everybody wants to wants to impress you, and then some people then talk nonstop, and they keep on interjecting. What do you do? If they are irrelevant in with what they're bringing in, you're gonna have to help other people and not entertain it, but also at the same time you don't want to embarrass the person. Maybe some fellow professional, right? So you are going to listen to them selectively because you have studied and you realize that they're not really talking to add value, they're talking to play to the gallery. Absolutely.
You know,
So this is a powerful tool. Yes?
no, Mr. Sam, as you're speaking, I'm actually reminded of using selective attention in a wrong way, because I remember there was a time when we had our coaching session and I was at a conference, right? And me thinking that I could have that session with you, in a reception area where there was a lot of noise, you
Yes.
know, and I actually realized how much value I got from the session when I actually went to a quiet place and I was able to focus and actually listen and engage when we were discussing the business model canvas. And I
Yes.
would not have had received the same amount of value if I was in that reception area and there was so much noise. So I think it's also important to understand when you can use which type of attention.
Exactly. In that show, you wanted to apply focused attention, and you couldn't. And then you tried to apply selective attention. It wouldn't work. And the best was always for that type of a show. You were my only speaking partner. You could only add value by being applying focused attention. If it was like today, you could still sustain that because you are not the only person I'm talking to, right? Therefore, selective attention may serve you. But where it's two on one, there's no way you can use selective attention.
Mm, mm, mm.
You
Yeah.
you can if you don't have any help. Let's say you sit like me saying you're living next to the airport, and then every now and then the aircraft takes over. If you can't mute, you're gonna have to use selective attention. So that awareness of what attention to use is very important because you don't want to end up not getting value out of your what the task you want to do, right?
No, definitely, Mr. Sam.
Yeah. So the drawback to selective attention, in fact, let me go back to it. The ability to filter out background noise and focus on one object or message is essential when consistently bombarded with information. The drawback to selective attention occurs when people disregard what is happening around them. Selective attention can be manipulated. Marketing experts, for instance, attempt to link their advertising message to their customers' interest. You see it how YouTube uses selective targeting. You know, they manipulate it. They make sure that the algorithm knows that it's Sam now who's looking in, and we know Sam is a coach and he likes coaching tools. Then it keeps the same. The advert that I see is not the same advert that you will see when you switch onto that same channel. So it can be manipulated from a marketing point of view. And Dadara Muta is asking, Rasem, is it possible to find yourself confronted in a situation where you have to deal with more than one type of attention? If so, how will one deal with that situation? Actually, in Dadara Muta, this type of attention, they can apply it in simultaneously. When you are in a conference and somebody is giving a talk, you can easily use selective attention. But when it's your time to answer a question or to ask a question, you're gonna have to be focused as you are waiting for listening to the response to your question. Or if you are asked to come forward together with other group of people to come and demonstrate something, you're gonna switch from selective attention and be focused attention and listen to the instructions that is given to you in terms of what the organizer wants you to demonstrate to edify the learning of the people, right? So that is not, they are not singularly applied, but you need to be aware and be intentional what kind of attention you need in what situation. I hope I answered you in that Ramuta there. So selective attention is very helpful where you are not able to apply others. Alternating attention. Occasionally people need to perform. There you are in that Ramut. That is actually your answer is in the alternating attention. That is the next we're discussing here. Occasionally people need to perform two tasks requiring different cognitive abilities at the same time, which requires alternating attention. An example of this would be taking notes during a lecture. To use alternating attention, the mind must be flexible and move between tasks seamlessly. For instance, a lecturer is lecturing and at the same time you are taking notes. If you're not going to be able to use alternating attention, when you finish the sentence, you can't catch up with the second sentence. So as you are writing, you need to be listening as he's saying the next one. And I'm sure you never thought, some of us never thought that can be done until you learn the skill that as you write what they are saying, you need to be listening to the next thing they are saying. That's why you can have simulcast interpreters. You know, the guys who don't even get a speech in advance, but they listen to you and they at the same time interpreting for others in another language. That's alternating attention. If you can't apply alternating attention, you can never be an interpreter. You are not going to, you will be like that guy was interpreting at the FNP. You are saying his own stuff, not what the people were saying. Let's talk about this one. There you are answered in Tatramut.
And I think, Prasam, that if you're going to use alternating attention or alternative attention, it's really a skill that you need to enhance and develop so that you could be selectively listening into a presentation or conversation. But soon as certain keywords touches your brain, then you can respond and give full attention to that and be able to then also respond to whatever was being said, Sam.
Exactly. You can use a tool like mind mapping. You don't have to write the whole story. You listen attentively, you mind map, and you will exactly reproduce what that person is saying. Or maybe not exactly, but you could actually write the story of what was being told, right? Is that what you're referring to, right?
Yes, indeed, Sam.
And that is very important because sometimes you are just not going to be able to write everything that is being said. People who are very good minute takers, they don't write everything that is being said. They do mind mapping, and immediately after that, they then transcribe. And now, thanks God to technology, over and above their mind mapping, they could have been recording this, and then when they write the notes, then they actually now construct more powerful, reflective notes of the meeting. And people must know this is a type of skill they have to learn. You're not going to have it just because you want to have it. You have to learn and practice it. Minute?
Yes, no, for sure. And it is, generally I didn't know that is it called alternative attention, because that's one other thing that I practice a lot in terms of interpreting, and the interpretations that I do a lot is a direct interpretation where that somebody talks now, and then you still need to interpret it verbatim.
Shem, we lost a minute there. I think there was a call coming in. Yeah, so that's beautiful. And then let's look at the. I like this one, attention CEO. They are suggesting here that this is a very important skill or competency that a CEO or anybody that leads people needs to have, where the attention of a CEO can determine the attention management of an organization. For instance, if you have a strategy and the CEO chooses not to pay attention to the critical aspect of that strategy, the entire organization can literally miss the strategic objectives of the year, right? So, and they talk about internal attention, external attention, where internal attention, you're paying attention to the internal procedures. And then the external attention, you're focusing on objects outside the organization. So if the leader of the organization is not conscious about this particular skill, the entire organization can actually end up mimicking him and totally losing the focus and not be able to achieve the results as promised to the board or to the other stakeholders. And that's why they're saying that understanding the different types of attention and implementing attention management techniques will allow CEOs to motivate employees towards more tremendous success. So have a look at many leaders on Monday, those who are applying attention management, when they get into the office on Monday or a month after they've been away from the office, watch what they do. You will easily see the difference between somebody who's practicing attention management and somebody that is not, who's just going on an autopilot. You will see exactly the difference, and you will see the impact is not going to be the same. So the intentionality and then, of course, applying the attention management is a very, very powerful leadership skill. That's what basically they are emphasizing here. I mean, if we talk about our president, current president during COVID, I mean, the man was fully applying attention management to the latter, and he was very focused. He just stopped everything, put together that committee. Monday, was it Monday family sessions? I mean, we even started to enjoy it. But look at how South Africa did very well. I'm not saying him alone, but I'm just saying that that's a typical type where we could actually see attention management being applied at its fullest because it was a life and death, and that saved many lives. That's one example that comes to mind. And the management of elections is also one project we're just coming out of now. Even though the IEC missed certain things, but the way ultimately it was delivered with focus, timelines on time, it can only be through attention management. So there's a huge value in practicing this skill, and if you can apply it then to hosting the shows from A to Z of the entire value chain of a show, I think you'll achieve maximum result. Let me stop here, and or maybe let me touch on attention blink. This occurs when the second target appears 200 to 500 milliseconds after the first target. So it's almost like the blink of the eye, you've lost the target. You know, especially when, sorry, it happens normally when you are staying power get challenged, when you become tired and you are no longer able to stay on it. So there is that, is called the attention blink. Something comes in between and takes you off the ball, and then you lose that focus. But yeah, let me stop there and ask some reflections there from your side.
Hi, Mr. Sam. I think for me, the biggest takeaway today is learning how to control your mind. You know, it's very important. Distractions will come, externally and also in your mind. But the biggest takeaway for me, and I'm very grateful for this session, I learned a lot. And yeah, learning to control your mind. Thank you, Mr. Sam.
Beautiful, beautiful. Indeed. And like the good thing, Andrew, is that these things can be learned. We all have the capability to learn them if we practice them. And the next point we are going to discuss is really now how physically we can develop the capacity to have attention. And one of those is meditation. I know we don't all believe in meditation, mindfulness meditation or pure meditation. They are the type of practices that really grow the capacity to be able to practice attention management, because attention management requires a brain power. But at the same time, the brain to be powerful, it must also be able to be managed and controlled and be switched off when you want to, so that it doesn't become a burden to your entire body system. So I shared with you some notes there about the various brain wave patterns that travel through the brain, and through meditation you can achieve those various brain waves and the impact they have. We don't have to spend time on that, but they talk about the beta brain waves, which is actually signal wakefulness. So they are associated with concentration and attentiveness. People who use beta brain waves to solve problems, but are also connected to feelings of trepidation and anxiety. Anyone awake is in beta. So when you do meditation and you don't fall asleep and you are awake, you're listening to your breathing, You're listening to the emotions, you listen to your feelings, and you're listening to your, we call them, when you put your feet on the ground and you listen to the surface where the feet and the ground touch, in seconds you can feel the sensations between your foot and your ground. Even where you are seated, if you just focus, and I'm gonna say don't laugh, if you focus on your bums, where your bums hit the chair, and you just focus on there, or let me use the simple one, put your hands on top of each other and listen to the temperature between your hands and just sit there for seconds. You put your hand on top of each other or against each other, and then keep quiet and listen to the contact points of your two hands. And you agree with me that you feel some sensations, right?
Yes.
But if you do that and you feel them, right?
Yes.
And sometimes they are beautiful actually. You start to realize that the cells in your body are creating movement and energy.
Sure.
But if you fall asleep, that's not meditation. You've fallen asleep. So meditation at the beta level, you must be awake and feel the impact of what it is that you are doing. So that is a beta brainwave. When you learn meditation, the first level of impact you must achieve is to be able to listen to sensations in your body and enjoy them. And really, literally, as I say, now you can do multiple sensations. Sit still, focus on the contact of your feet on the ground, contact of your bums on the chair, contact of your hands maybe on top of each other. The more you are able to listen to many parts, the more you will feel calmness in your body. So that means you reach the beta level of meditation, because you should not fall asleep when you are meditating. If you are meditating in bed and you fall asleep, you must have decided to meditate to fall asleep. So that means for that moment while you are still awake, you are in a beta situation. The moment you fall asleep, you are no longer meditating, you have fallen asleep. But it's meditation that has helped you to fall asleep. That's why you can recover from stress and strain by just meditating and not falling asleep and be energetic again. That is a beta brainwave. Now, the alpha brainwave, these are signs of relaxed consciousness. They are considered to be brainwaves of meditation. They promote creativity and associated with pleasant feeling and tranquility. In this state, a person is awake but not intently focused. In other words, you sit in the garden, you do what we call mindfulness meditation. You take note of the birds, the greenery, the sound, and you go in a state of not being aware of your mind. And you wake up after 1 hour, you have been in such a tranquility. That's why when you do that for healing, they normally send you on what they call, you go away for a week, and they make you do that where you are not awake. They don't make you sleep, but you actually learn to be in a situation of no mind, and that is the alpha state. Remember, the beta state, you are feeling everything. The alpha state, you're feeling nothing. You are not listening to a sensation. You are not listening to a breathing. You are in a state of lightness, and you are literally just be. This is the ideal state for intuitive thinking. Intuitive thinking means that where your mind tells you do this without you questioning it. The opposite of intuitive thinking is what you call reflective thinking. When we say let us reflect on this talk show that we have had now, we are saying let's go back and apply to our minds to what we have been discussing. That is reflective thinking. It's hard, it's energetic, it's intentional, it requires resources. Intuitive thinking is something happens and spontaneously you respond. And that's why you hear somebody say, this happened, I turn and then I look this person. I thought of Ndadera Muta. I turned, I look at behind me, there was Ndadera Muta. It's just instinct, intuitive. That's the alpha brainwaves. You can practice that to that level where your level of lightness. They are very helpful for people who suffer a lot of restlessness and stress and are struggling to fall asleep. They wake up in the morning, they're still tired. So you practice that, you recover from that. The interesting one is the theta brainwaves, like theta, the theta, theta, theta brainwaves. This one appears when someone is in deep state of meditation, hypnotized, or in a light stage of sleep. Yeah, it's like you get you repeat these things until like you don't notice yourself, you know, and you are not fully aware of your surroundings. It's actually hypnotize, hypnosis. There are a lot of people who are trained to heal people through hypnosis. It's not don't be misled by people who tell you that hypnotizing is bad. It's not bad. It's a very powerful healing process that lots of psychometrists, psychotherapists use. It's a one way of level of calmness that you reach through deeper level of practicing meditation. So theta waves are linked to dreams and short-term memory. I'm sure you have had a situation where you dream, while you are still dreaming, you wake up, and then within seconds you've forgotten what you're dreaming about. It's because when you are reaching the theta brain wave, you don't go into long-term memory. You go into a short-term memory, and if you don't write what you were dreaming about, within a couple of minutes, you will not remember what you were dreaming about. So that is a theta brainwave, and they are normally so in children. They say children are normally naturally are in this state, but theta waves allow people to recall facts easily, which is sometimes why answers to questions seem to come while falling asleep. Now, the delta brainwaves that's accompanied by deep sleep without dreams. Now, you know that dreams are not always good. There are certain dreams when you wake up, you are so tired. So it's never. Sometimes there are certain dreams are so sweet. You wake up, you rested very well. So you need to be able to have deep sleep without dreams. If you have a deep sleep and you have nightmares, it's because your brain, your mind, your subconscious mind has harbored things that it cannot coordinate. It cannot make sense of. Either you have had a trauma or a lot of things happened, but they are not lined, they are not straightened up. Then that's when you really have that type. And it's not a restful way of sleeping. So you need to be able to reach deep sleep without dreams and rest very well. If you dream, it must be peaceful dreams because the messages in your subconscious mind are aligned. They are not in conflict. So few people enter the delta when they are meditating. Very few. It's not easy to get to that level. Even myself, I've not reached that level. I practice chakra meditation, and I always thought that it will get me to that level. I've never reached that level, and I keep on trying. Only experienced practitioners can reach delta waves and remain awake. Gamma brain waves are the waves associated with the ability to connect and process information. They also improve memory and keep the senses sharp. People with high gamma brain waves are known to be more compassionate and known to be happier and more content. They are often considered more intelligent than those with lower levels of gamma waves. I'm not sure about that, but I think I want to say that I think I know people that they are able to be in the state of gamma. Yesterday we were talking about, I don't know who I was talking to, but we were talking about coaches, and we were talking about the Real Madrid coach. That guy has the highest level of contentment. When things are falling apart, you look at him, he's so quiet, so calm, so content. I'm sure, without knowing, he practices deep meditation that takes him to the karma level. Anyway, I know not everybody believes in meditation. Not everybody has heard of these things before, but the level that I think I reach easily is a beta level and the alpha level. The theta level, I've seen people reaching that level. I think in certain cultures, people do reach that level, and then people, those who understand African, or what did you call it in English? That they Rapula, when they say people have reached a state, but then and then they can't feel themselves, they are floating. Explain that to those who don't understand my language.
It's going to be difficult. Sometimes direct translation mislead. It's going to be difficult to translate it. I think you translate much more better about what's in a Gemoya. Especially,
It's like they're experiencing spirit, and the spirit makes so light that their bodies are so light. When you carry them, they're like they don't feel themselves. But that is hypnosis, you know. When they do that dance, and it takes them to one state to another until they reach state of lightness, and they pass out. And they say through that process, actually they get rid of whatever trauma they've gone through. And then we say that it's a healing. Yes, it's healing. It's a healing practice. But unfortunately, get confused by beliefs and cultures and values. So we can't go there. But in reality, that is all about the state that we can try to reach. And understand when you are being hypnotized. It's a professional work that people do. They're not trying to make you go crazy, But if you have a belief that counter it, you are not going to be able to be helped because you will be resisting what they're taking you through. But in brain power training, such things do work. Anyway, I'm sure we have views about this, and please, whoever wants to contribute, please feel free. Maynard, you wanted to say something?
No. I think I'm still following that.
All right, cool. Yeah. So those states you can achieve through practicing meditation. And then there is what we call mindfulness. Mindfulness is basically just being present without worrying about the past and the future. And for you to reach a state of mindfulness, which means being fully present, you can use meditation to bring you into the present. Learn to ignore the thoughts of yesterday or the thoughts of tomorrow. And it took me a very long time to understand mindfulness until I practice it. The one thing mindfulness does is simple. It makes you not to be in the past and not to be in the future. Be okay with the now and enjoy the now. And if you want to see the power of it, think about it when you know that tomorrow you are not going to have enough money to do something that you wanted to do, and then you're sitting and you're waiting to ask for somebody for money tomorrow, but it is so far that you can't switch off to worry about it, and you don't even realize that there's something nice happening around now because you are so much in the future, and you actually even get so stressed that you don't even fall asleep. And yet the warmth of the bed is with you, but you are not consciously aware that you are lying in a very beautiful warm bed. Or somebody irritated you yesterday, you are sitting with this irritation, it still keep on anxiety haunting you that you can't even be with us in this show and enjoy the nuggets that we are sharing. And then we say, but Maynard, you are not with us. Where's your mind today? And then say, I had this guy yesterday. He's really, really disturbed me, and I'm still worried. So, but it was yesterday. Now you are not enjoying today because you are worried about yesterday. And then you say, no, but I can't switch off. I keep on thinking of it. Now you need mindfulness practice to learn to let go of things of yesterday, because they're not going to help you to be present with us now. And don't worry about tomorrow. We don't say ignore tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is going to come. But just know that there's very little you can do now, because you can only address this thing tomorrow. Why now are you worried? Just focus on now, enjoy what's happening now. Put it in the back of your mind. You'll deal with it tomorrow. And that is basically in mindfulness practice, when you are preoccupied a lot with somebody who has treated you badly yesterday, or something that is going to happen tomorrow, and you are not sure how you're going to fare in it, you actually develop a lot of stress. You know? And therefore, mindfulness meditation is the meditation that you apply to learn to be with your present situation. And Otto Schama calls it presenting. It's the same thing. Being fully present with your heart, your mind, your everything, and be aware of the now, and take note of yesterday and tomorrow, but don't go there now, because it doesn't help you going there now. That can also be practiced. And most productive people, they learn to be present and they practice it. A show will require you to be present. Coaching in the Darabula, if you are not fully present for 2 hours with your client, you are not going to be effective as a coach. You are not going to observe those body languages. You are not going to observe the emotions and the feelings that they are projecting on you. And you won't feel the energy that they are projecting on you. And your energy can actually be a distraction to them, because, you pretend to be with me, but you are not with me. I don't feel you. Among lovers, this is very common. When you are with your loved one and you are not with them emotionally, they will tell you, no, you are cold. What's happening? And you were trying to be present, but you are not present. Lecturers, for instance, they don't become effective if they cannot be present with their students. So that is an example of what you can do. So different types of meditation. I told you about the chakra meditation. We're going to introduce chakras at some future stage. There is a mantra meditation, you all know it, where people repeat sounds and waves. Oh, they are not just waves, they are mantras that are associated with a particular part, energy center in your body. Like as I said, if you take a combination of mantra meditation and chakra meditation, we've got 7 main chakras in our body. The root chakra, the sacral chakra, which is on your tummy, the solar plexus, momukubo on your, what do you call it, mukubo? And then you have got the heart chakra, and then you have got the throat chakra, the forehead chakra, and the crown chakra. And all of them are energy centers that when we're experiencing tension, it's a nerves concentrated around certain organs in your body. And when you feel that tension in that spot, for instance, if you have a backache, that is connected most of the times with the root chakra. And when you are going to do the meditation, then you say those words, and if you have been trained and you focus your energy on that particular spot, and then you pretend to be breathing down that, that's how you unlock that particular chakra. But that is too deep, but that's just what chakra meditation is all about. And then you have got the steady gaze meditation. This one, you know it, where if you are distracted, they say focus on that spot for full 5 minutes until your mind comes back and you are fully present. That is called steady gaze meditation. It involves visually focusing on an object and try to reorganize your energies. It's very, very powerful. And sometimes we, instead of using steady gaze, we say focus on your breathing as you breathe in and out, count the breathing until you are fully focused. Then that is meditation. And then the transcendental, that's a very famous one. This is the one which you do with your eyes closed. and maybe playing a music and listening to affirmations, and then ultimately you fall asleep. Transcendental meditation is very good in when you want to fall asleep. And normally we use it with a guided meditation and normally with affirmations, and then you fall asleep. So those are the four main ones.
Sam, I was just in the transcendental meditation. Is it the one which the massage parlors prefer to use? Make sure that you fall asleep very quick.
Yes, yes, yes. It's also a very powerful healing type of meditation. You can do it yourself without massage there, but in massage they use that, and they will play light music in the background. But remember, for the time period while you are awake, that's meditation. When you fall asleep, you are no longer meditation. It has taken you to sleep.
So that your body
Meditation is yes.
so that your body, your muscles, or your nerves can relax. So that when you
Yeah.
wake up, either you wake up being refreshed or being tired, one of the two.
Yeah.
But yes, it helps in terms of recovery. It's a recovery in
In,
nature.
Indeed. Now, the chakra meditation is intentionally choosing a particular nerve centers in your body, and they are normally blocked. They are associated, for instance, the throat chakra, it deals a lot with speech. If you have a speech handicap because you are nervous and you've got blockage and you can't say certain things, normally we say that your throat chakra is blocked. And so the type of meditation you will do will be focusing on that. And then the heart chakra is associated with love. And this is not intimate love, just relationships. If your heart is heavy, it's blocked, you are going to have difficulty in connecting with other people. And we will say practice heart meditation. And then the solar plexus, which is more, what do you call mukuva in English? What do you call mukuvo, Andulela?
I'm not sure what is a
I'm
correct.
using
I'm not sure it's a correct one. Is it not belly button?
belly
Just ask.
button is the belly button area is a sacral chakra that has to do with running tummy and stress. If you are stressed, then your tummy run. Normally, it's the sacra that is blocked. Umbilical cord. Thank you, Dr. Mut. At the umbilical cord level, we call it solar plexus chakra. We will talk about it. It's the Asian philosophies that have been adopted in the Western practices. In fact, their original names are not these English words, but they came with English words that is easy for us to remember. Anyway, this is not a chakra lecture. We'll do it at some other stage, but just know that the chakras are nothing. Chakra is nothing else but the energy centers. There are 7 of main ones. There are hundreds and hundreds of them in the body, but the 7 main ones that are aligned from top to the bottom. And that's why when people are taking you through what they call it a full body meditation. They take you from the top to the bottom. They say they talk from the crown, the face, and they make you tighten the muscles from the head up to the toes. They are doing nothing else but unblinking your 7 chakras. As I say, the root chakra, which is basically the anchor chakra to the ground, is really at your tail. It's called the root chakra. And then the one that has to do when you have running tummy and all these things and stomach and stress is sacral, is on your belly bottom, as you said it. And then on the mukubo is called solar plexus chakra. And then on your heart, which has to do with relationship, is the heart chakra. And the communication one is the throat, which is the head chakra, then the throat chakra. And the one between your eyes, that's why they call it a third eye chakra, is the one that gives you vision. And then the one that corrects you, gives you spirituality and connection with the universal power is the crown chakra, which is right on the top of your head. If you master that type of meditation, it's very easy to remove stress and strain and anxiety, you know. But you have to believe in them, you have to practice them and access them. So they are really truly scientifically researched. Some people they go far deep to put stones on the various chakras, like when you go to massage. It's nothing else, but it's just to make your mind to focus on that particular spot. It's not true that the stones heal you. They just make you to focus on those energy centers where the certain nerves are concentrated to release the tension and make you restore your energy and also deal with anxiety. And these practices they are saying that, like for instance, breathing, they can actually save you from heart attack. So yeah, so that is it. And I think we need to be mindful of time. So for you to be able to be fully healthy and fully present, this kind of meditations are very helpful. We have visualization. We spoke about it. Visualization help you to really attain the power of your goals long before they are even attained. Like the athletes who will be visualizing them having won the marathon before they even start, and then it conditions their energies to focus on that. And when they get into the marathon, they win. So that's visualization. And then, yeah, then the other ones is focus exercise. And lastly, the last four things I didn't have time to share with you full details about attention zones model. I'll get some notes to you on that one in the next session. We can just touch on that before we move on to the next unit. So yeah, so that's really the last part of this unit. Let me stop here and ask you to reflect and check out of unit out of unit 16. Over to you.
I think, Sam, today it was what I call the mouthful, and especially around the issue from my side, especially around the issues of meditations, because I was doing a lot of internal reflection as an individual, which areas actually impacted on me as an individual, because one of the key elements around that in terms of differentiating from all the meditations, the beta and alpha, was the area of mindfulness, of say, think of now, forget about yesterday. And that now will help you to relieve a lot of tension at the back of your systems. And don't even think of tomorrow, because I don't know tomorrow to come in. And we often underestimate, we think of tomorrow, and there's no guarantee that we'll see tomorrow, but you forget about now. It's
And
a small,
sometimes,
I did a lot of reflection.
Yeah, sometimes you rob yourself of quality sleep because you are too preoccupied with what tomorrow is going to happen. Then you don't rest, and then tomorrow comes, you are not ready for it because you are tired. Sorry for interrupting you, Rabul.
No, I said that was my reflection for the day, and that's my take. Always be mindful.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know we have got different beliefs, and please, if you feel differently, you are also welcome. It's not everybody that believe in meditation. It's not everybody that practice it. I practice it because I try to be just objective and see, and I think indeed it can work. I'm not a fanatical, but I think it does help me, especially with sleep. Andrew, you want to check out? Or Maynard?
Yes, I was saying, I wanted to say that, like, from my takeaway today is that focus, attention, and meditation, and that Rapula was saying, I think they go hand in hand, because, like, in meditation, you still need that focus, attention. You need to focus on all those specific nerves and whatever that you are meditating about. So, focus, attention, and meditation, they I can say they go hand in hand, and they can help a lot in terms of paying attention to certain things.
Yeah, indeed. there's an element of intentionality about it. Part of the whole emotional intelligence as well, because that's being self-aware and being aware of things that distract you.
Yep.
Yeah, as for me, I learned obviously more about the attention types that we discussed, being responsive and also like not being interrupted and being not being unproductive when you do your attention management, and obviously attention management at the individual level and at the organizational level. And when coming to meditation, it was actually a blast. It was something new, but I feel like I I reflected more when you were talking about alpha brain wave. I think, I think as a person who loves nature, sometimes you can go out, maybe you just look at the beauty of nature, and sometimes you just out of the world, you're no longer in this world, and you get to realize a lot of things when you do, I think, the alpha brainwave. And it helps a lot also for me, personally speaking. It helps me a lot, like also in terms of being mindfulness and being able to be calm and understand that, a lot of things outside your own being actually existing, like maybe understanding different universe. So for me, it was actually, I think I'll need to read more and reflect more and listen to the podcast again. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Ompile. And yeah, you try it and you realize that you were not aware you actually do that alpha brainwave meditation without realizing. Like Ndadera Bula is a transcendental. When you go to massage parlor and they're playing those musics and they literally bring you down. And sometimes without telling you, asking you to close your eyes, you find yourself closing your eyes, you know? So yeah, great. And it is, if you are going to be, if you're practicing these things, you are fully present in a show. That energy that you are investing in that show, your listeners and your guests. Because when you are fully present, you are also very confident because you're sensing and feeling yourself. You even hear the sound coming out of your own mouth. They feel that connection, and then you realize that you don't actually even have to be physically working hard to be present and be impactful.